Hi there, we are back with another 15 minutes with episode, and this time I've got Nicola Ward, who is the founder of CakeDrop on. We've known each other for a number of years now. They're award winning and they've sponsored all sorts of things, so we work really well together, and I know they support many of our members, so very much looking forward to this episode with you, Nicola. So thank you for being on. Can you first of all tell us a little bit more about CakeDrop, your role there, and how the company came about, please?
Sure. So, I'm one of the two co-founders of CakeDrop. CakeDrop is a business I started with my sister, Anna, back in 2017, and we create and automate treat-led experiences for businesses. So we started out back in 2017. Anna and I were both working in sort of creative industries in offices, and we loved office life. But we did notice we started having this conversation around office birthdays and how they were always a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah.
You'd get into work on like a Monday morning and you'd all have this like whisper, like, oh, did you know it was Hannah's birthday? Oh no, someone's got to run out and get a Colin the Caterpillar, and it would all be a bit last minute. And we were saying, surely there's something out there. Like HR has everyone's birthdays. Like, why isn't this sort of an automated solution for this? Like, where a cake just arrives, and there wasn't. So Anna said to me, "Come on, let's do it. Like, if we don't do it, someone else will do it." And that's really where it started. And obviously, it's evolved over the years. So initially, we built a tool which enabled office managers to plot in their employee birthdays, and then we had these partner bakeries so that a cake would arrive on each and every birthday, and the office manager would just have to set it up once for the whole year. And then over time, we've sort of realised there's so many other occasions that people enjoy cake in the workplace, and not just birthdays. It could be like company milestones. Awareness days are a big one for us. And just sort of team get-togethers. So we've kind of evolved and grown over the years, and now we do all sorts of different treats. And I guess the USP is that everything is sort of brandable, and we can work to create like really sort of on brand and on theme treats as well.
Yeah, love that. And I've had many of your treats. There's been quite a lot of controversy I've seen on LinkedIn with some of your articles where people are talking about cake and things, and you've weighed in there about my dog is patting around in the background. I don't know if you can hear her, but yeah, and I love the fact that you've always been able to answer those kind of challenges around sweet treats, I suppose, in the office really eloquently. What is your specific role there now then? You know, you've grown, you've been established for 6 years. What do you do, kind of a typical day for Nicola? What does that look like?
I think because I'm a founder, it's like a bit of everything, like such a generalist. Probably much like an office manager where you just get your fingers in absolutely everything. Anna and I tend to split up our roles so that I'm more on like marketing and business development, and she is more on the sort of day to day. But yeah, day to day, mine can be anything from sort of doing our email campaigns or adding products to the website, coming up with new product ideas, um, through to sort of fundraising. We've recently raised some money for the business, whereas Anna will be involved in sort of speaking to all our customers, making sure the treats are out of the door on time and everything's running super smoothly from a day-to-day perspective. So yeah, that's a bit of everything really.
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it, when you have a small business and you're trying to grow, that you continue. I don't know if as a business owner you ever really let go of everything, do you? But yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
fab.
God.
Can you remember, I always like to ask everybody on 15 minutes with how we first met, how you first we were first introduced.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Hannah, but it is a bit of a funny story. Hope it doesn't make you feel a bit awkward. But it was about, I think it was 2019. I got a call from Anna saying, "Oh, I've just had a very stern phone call from
Oh,
the founder,
I know this
the
is
founder of
going.
Office Management Group." I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Oh, well, I found this like office management group, and someone had like asked for cake, so I like recommended CakeDrop, and apparently like you'd called her, obviously naturally, to protect the
Yeah,
platform.
yeah,
Being
the
like, you can't
integrity
just
of
be
it.
on here
Yeah.
promoting your business." So I think I followed up with you a couple of months later with a bit of a groveling email,
You
being
were
like,
like,
"Please
so
don't
sorry,
call
yeah,
me."
we'll follow the rules. Yeah, I remember now. When you felt, I was like, who introduced us then? Why is it awkward? And now I remember, yeah.
Yeah, no. So we are like completely understand that that's the beauty of the platform, isn't it? That like it's not crawling with like people trying to sell stuff. It is resource based and community based, and completely respect that. So I think she sort of overstepped the mark, and then I quickly followed up like, "No, we want to be a supplier."
Oh, that's so funny. Tell us now how you support with office managers and how you work with them.
Yeah, so essentially we support office managers by sort of helping them enhance the workplace experience. So that includes, like I mentioned earlier, creating themed and branded treats for workplace events and occasions. And that can be in-office events, but also sort of treat mailers that can be sent to remote teams nationwide. We do a lot for seasonal events and awareness days, so Pride, International Women's Day, Halloween, and everything in between. But we also have like year-round treats that can be sort of sent, just pick me ups, or you want a regular treat day, or a lot of people do sort of monthly birthday celebrations in the office as well, where they group everybody and have sort of one get together, which is really nice. Yeah, and then we also have our automated gifting solution. So office managers can ensure that a branded treat is sent to every team member on their birthday or work anniversary. Kind of like the original model we had, but instead it's sort of mailers, so it'll arrive at people's homes through their letterbox, which is nice. But yeah, in terms of like how we work with office managers, we typically have we do a lot of sort of one-to-one calls and emails, so we get to know our customers really, really well. Recently, we've sort of done a lot of work on our website, so people can go on and order all the stuff themselves without speaking to anyone. But we love to be available anyway, sort of 24/7 on live chat or email or phone call. And I think that's particularly important because office managers are often sort of solo in their role and they like to sort of bounce ideas around, and we love that too. So yeah, that's how we work.
Yeah, and I suppose it's helping with an element of culture and yeah, rewards, recognition, that kind of thing for office managers to run those sort of programs and get that out there. So that's really fab. So what do you personally enjoy the most about your job and working with these office managers?
Well, obviously we get to be part of like so many workplace occasions. So that could be like a big team celebration or a big company event. And obviously it's really rewarding to know that we've like made an impact or like added some value. And it can be really, really varied. We get to work on all types of different briefs. So product launches to sort of Christmas parties. So that's a lot of fun, sort of bringing our customers and office managers' ideas to life. It doesn't really ever get old. So yeah, particularly like that. And then office manager is obviously a bit of a dream to work with. I don't think we knew when we started how lucky we were to be sort of these. This was going to be our customer base, because I think by their very nature they are super efficient, really personable, really gracious. Like if we're working on a bespoke brief, which is going to require sort of artwork or some sort of company collateral, like they will never miss a deadline. Everything is always on time. And yeah, they always follow up with a thank you. Like it's so nice. Like I don't know if people experience this in other sectors, but we'll always get a thank you over email after we've done an event with our office managers. It's so nice. I don't know how common that is, but it's so nice. It does lift us up.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm biased. I think office managers are the best kind of people in the world. So I would fully agree. But there is something about, it's like when we have the events and the awards and things, there's something in that room and it's just an atmosphere like no other. And I think that is down to the personalities and the people and the personas of those people behind the role and the profession, i.e. the office managers. And it just makes for such a wonderful atmosphere and energy in the rooms that we host them in. So yeah, I would fully agree.
Yeah, it's so true. Like I feel like from listening to your podcast, it's obvious that like there's a certain personality type that just really fits this role, and often people will come from different careers and then fall into it because it just suits them so perfectly. And we love the fact that it's majority is women. Obviously, we love our male customers as well. We do have them, but it is largely women. And obviously, as a female founded business, that's really nice. I think that sort of uplifting, empowering community is sort of quite lends itself to sort of that for female sort of energy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is, it's very female dominated in these roles. So yeah, it's I would fully agree. It is empowering, and I think they do lift each other up. But even the males in the roles, as you'll have heard from the podcast as well, they have similar challenges and experiences and backgrounds and all sorts. So yeah, it's really good, and I'm glad you listened to the podcast.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like it's really voyeuristic of me to do so, but I feel like even as a business owner, I find it interesting listening to office managers because they understand how to create a positive workplace culture. And even as someone that's not in an office manager role, like that's useful for me to know as the founder as well. Like, oh, how
Yeah.
do I, as we grow, create a nice environment? for our team. So yeah, I find it useful from that perspective just to listen, as well as sort of just getting to know our customers a bit
Do
better.
research, yeah, do
Yeah.
research on what makes them tip. So talking about this sort of thing, then the podcast is quite a nice lead into my last question for you, Nicola, which is, can you share a top tip or a few tips on the areas that you're an expert in? You know, it might be around treats and gifting and culture and celebrations. What advice would you give to anybody watching this?
Yeah, I think when it comes to choosing or ordering treats if you're having an event, really think about the goal. We get a lot of customers will come to us and they initially ask for cupcakes because that's the first thing that comes to everyone's mind. But actually, if you're having an event where you want people to talk and network, and if you're trying to bring your team together, so sort of as a conversation starter, cupcakes aren't always the best thing. They can be quite cumbersome, and not everyone wants to stand there holding one. So often people come for cupcakes, but they'll leave with brownie bites, for example, because they're smaller, they're more canapé size. Similarly, if you want to sort of make a real branded a moment that people might want to take away with them rather than eat on the spot, like things that are individually wrapped are good or that are less perishable. So yeah, instead of just going with the first thing that you think of, often sort of thinking about what is the actual goal for having the treats in the first place, is great. And obviously we love advising on that as well. And then yeah, my second tip, which kind of touches on that sort of advice piece, is to lean on suppliers. This is actually a tip someone said to me recently, in my capacity as like a founder, but actually I'd like to pass it on. Because I think it is useful. Like when I think about our customers, we often have office managers that will call us just for a chat about what's coming up in their workplace calendar. Like these are the events that I want to celebrate from a cultural perspective, and I kind of have this budget, and my CEO is not so fussed about this one, but more on this one. And we just have a conversation about it, and we can advise and make recommendations, even if they're like for other suppliers. And I think likelihood is that any of your suppliers will be happy to have a conversation with you and point you in the right direction. Like we're looking to sort of build relationships and help as much as we can. So I think definitely leaning on suppliers as much as you can for just ideas, inspiration, recommendations is great.
Yeah, fully agree. Lean on the experts. I bang on about it in the courses that I teach. So yeah,
Or do
fully
you?
agree there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lean on your experts. It might be a tip that I've recorded already for the podcast. I don't know, but there's definitely one in there about that somewhere coming.
Oh,
No, I fully agree. And I think with the events, that is a very important thing because people don't often think through. I'm quite a visual person, so I try and think about the movement around the room and the flow and everything else. So yeah, thinking about the food, because there's always that awkward moment, isn't there, when it comes to eating time, and that's why finger food is so popular at standing networking events and canapes and things, because they're bite sized and you won't have somewhere to lean and to cut and to, and cupcakes can be very messy. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's a really
So
good
all that
tip.
stuff's worth considering, and a lot of customers want to make a big impact, in which case some treats lend themselves better to a display than others. So
Mm,
yeah, it's great to be able to advise.
yeah, love that. Well, thank you so much for being my guest for August on 15 Minutes with. It's been really good to catch up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.